So we're gonna teach you barbell squat. There's many different types of squats you guys have seen. There's hack squats, goblet squats, high bar squats, low bar squats, front squats. It's technically a low bar squat, but we just call it the squat because this is kind of the main squat that uses the most muscle mass. Now, you come into the Strength Co. on an odd class, you might see people high bar squatting, front squatting for different reasons, but the low bar squat is kind of the main squat that we teach because it utilizes the most muscle mass. We found that most problems with the squat occur at the bottom, so we're gonna address those first. We're not even gonna touch a barbell yet, we're just gonna do it on air. So Cooper, kind of stand face me. And you guys can all mock this too if you have room, if you want to do it. You guys will be doing this with your coaches as well once we break up into our groups. Stand about shoulder width apart, point your toes out about 30 degrees. How old are you? Are you sophomore?
16, sophomore, yeah.
So you're in geometry right now? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know degrees.
Yep.
Okay, perfect, that's perfect. You just passed your final for geometry. All right, cool. Clasp your hands like you're praying. And you're going to squat down, take your elbows, put them inside your knees. You're gonna actively shove your knees out. Good, shove your knees out, so elbows inside your knees. Good, so point out a few things. Stand up for a second. Widen your feet just a hair. Good, okay, go ahead and do the same thing. So a few things I'm gonna point out with Cooper here. He's much more, stay down there. We're gonna do a little bit of you're gonna hang out there, you're young, that's why I chose you, okay? I want you to stare like right about here. Okay, a few things that we're gonna point out. He's much more leaned over than you're probably used to. We have a much more vertical, when we think of a squat with muscle magazines, guys are like, pointing to the nipples are pointing up to the sky, but for this one, we are leaned over. That's what we want for this low bar squat, all right? His feet are flat, his thighs, toes are all in line right now. In the crease of his hip, and when I say crease of his hip, this little like line that happens, like with the fabric, is breaking the top of his knee. This is below the top of his knee. That's our golden standard for depth. That's what we're gonna insist upon, all right? Can you squat too low? It's possible. Can you squat too high? Absolutely, most people do, all right? We're gonna make sure that you're not doing that. Cooper, when you stand up, I want you to stand up with your tailbone first. Drive it straight up. Okay, go back down. Even more so, this moves first. Butt up first. There we go, good, exaggerate it. Back down. I'm gonna give you a little resistance here. Push against my hands. Drive it, good job, okay? There's a lot of different details in the squat that your coaches might go into with you. The two main things we need you doing successfully today is squatting to depth. I don't care what weight you lift today, it needs to be to depth, and driving with our hips, all right? The main difference between this squat and most other squats is we're activating the muscles in our posterior chain, our butt, our hamstrings, where most of our muscle mass lies. And to do that, we need to lean over, we need to reach back, we need to drive our hips up, okay? You ready to touch a barbell? Okay. All right, a couple of different equipment things. Who here's never touched a barbell before? That's all right, Wendy. That's all right. It's kind of like a tennis racket, all right? No, that's totally fine. We expect that, like, we're just gonna assume that no one's touched a barbell in here, and sometimes that's the easiest way to go about it. But barbell, this rough part's the knurling. J-hooks, this is a squat rack. What we're standing on is a platform. These are our plates. This is how we incrementally load it. And so we're gonna teach you all the ins and outs of that. All right, Cooper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put him in a thumbless grip. Now for my gentlemen in here, especially older guys with jobs where they're sitting at a desk or you find yourself in this position all day, this is gonna be tough for you, all right? This is the biggest barrier to low bar squat, is getting that bar low enough on our back in a comfortable position. It's probably not gonna be comfortable today. It will improve over time, I promise, all right? So Cooper, take a thumbless grip, right about where those markers are right there, and thumbs on top. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bar just below what we call the spine of the scapula. That's just a part of your shoulder blade. And you guys can all reach across and you can feel that bony ridge. If you've got a coach next to you and you're having trouble finding it, they can kind of point it out to you. But there's a little bony ridge. That bar is gonna sit just below that. And the bar is gonna be supported by your posterior deltoids, which are these muscles right here. Go ahead and do like your best Arnold overhead pose here. Just bunch your arms up here. So no offense, Cooper's a soccer player, so he's heard this before. He doesn't have a ton of muscle mass on him right now. We're gonna change that over time and you're gonna eat a whole lot, right? Yep, absolutely. So the tighter he can get his grip, the more his muscles, his delts bunch up, and that actually keeps the bar exactly where we want it to, all right? So if you don't have a lot of muscle mass, hopefully you're flexible so you get your hands really narrow. If you're already a big and beefy guy, you don't need to go as narrow. When we start this warm-up process, starting with the empty bar, it might be out here, you might be out here. In rare cases, we might need to alter your grip or do something that your coach deems necessary. But over time, by the time we get to your last set, you'll start creeping those hands in a little bit more. All right, go ahead and thumbless grip. You're gonna duck your head directly under that center knurling, and I'll help you place the bar. Okay, keep your wrists straight as you can, go a little bit wider. Okay. I'm gonna push your chest. It's gonna feel tight in your chest, tighten your shoulders a little bit. Just a little bit more. Feels tight, right? Right here? Okay, it'll get better over time. Okay, good. So pinch my fingers. So right now the bar's below the spine of his scapula. We don't have his grip as tight as we want it yet, but that's okay. And go ahead and bunch up those delts. Take a big breath. Stand up. Okay, take 2 small steps backward. Okay, same stance we had earlier, eyes are down. Okay, 2 things are different now that he's got a bar on his back. He doesn't have his elbows to shove his knees out, so he's gonna have to think about shoving his knees out. We're also not gonna go down and just hang out down there. We're gonna go down, feel a big stretch, come right back up, all right? So put your eyes right at the edge of this platform. I want you to take a big breath, reach your hips back, lean your chest over, and squat. We're gonna have to get way more leaned over. First thing you're gonna do is reach your ass back and lean over. Better. Good, back up. Okay, big breath. You're gonna do 3 more. Reach, 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 reach. He's sitting back into his hips a little bit more. Butt back, lean over, lean over. Good. Do 1 more. Big breath. We'll get to breathing in a little bit, but that was high. Do another one, that didn't count. Deeper. Good, and up. And to rack it, he's just gonna simply walk this forward till he hits the uprights. And if you hit the uprights, you'll never miss the hooks, all right? It's gonna be coach's preference whether they put you in the rack or not. We shouldn't be lifting any weights where we're gonna fail a set today, but if we wanna err on the abundance of a caution and squat inside the rack where we have safety pins to catch us, should that happen, that's totally fine. And then what we're gonna do is you're going to be in a group of about 3 to 4 lifters, and you're going to see a lot of reps. If your coach is coaching one person, they're actually coaching everyone, so everyone pay attention to that. And then we're just gonna do ascending sets of 5 reps, all right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna find what your baseline is today. What's an appropriate level of stress that's not gonna kill you, right? We want you to be able to get up tomorrow. You will be a little bit sore in the next couple days. If you're one of those people that's like, I haven't done anything, or even if someone who's like, hey, I've been doing yoga, this is gonna make you sore, but I promise you, the next time you come in here and you start stacking these workouts together, you will not feel nearly as sore session to session as you do after the first time, right? It's just novel, it's new for your body, so you're gonna feel a little bit more. Any questions? I'm talking a lot about squat.
I heard squats were bad for your knees.
Oh, who told you that?
The internet.
The internet. Well, the internet, it must be true then.
Explain that.
Yeah, no, squats are not bad for your knees. Improper half depth squats actually are bad for your knees. They put a lot of stress on the knees. If we're squatting to depth to our gold standard, all right, crease of the hip below the top of the knee, that's okay. That actually, the forces of the quads and the hamstrings counteract not a lot of the forces put on your knee. But if you are putting a bunch of weight on the bar and you're doing quarter reps, yeah, that's gonna mess your knees up, right? It's kind of crazy. It's counterintuitive, but when we talk about, when we teach a deadlift later and people are like, yeah, deadlifting took my back pain away. Squatting to depth correctly took my knee pain away. It's pretty amazing, but that's what we see case of many different types of lifters that come in the gym. That's a great question. Sorry you read that on the internet, Braden. That's unfortunate.
I'm relieved.
Any other questions? That's great. Any other questions about squat?
Telling me that old people need to be squatting. If you do anything, squat.
Who told you that?
All my old people stuff. All my old art magazine.
Okay, that's great.
All the,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we get a bunch of different lifters in here. Like, I love getting Coopers in here who are like, I'm underweight and I need to get strong, because we know exactly what to do. Pump them full of food, lift heavy weights, add weight each time. And that's fun and satisfying. Someone comes in here and they're competing in powerlifting. They're like, I need to get my 385 bench to 405. That's exciting for them. But the best thing we can do, the most gratifying, I don't want to speak for other coaches, but the most gratifying thing is when we get someone who's elderly and they've witnessed firsthand aspects of their life, things they're not able to do anymore, struggling to get their overhead luggage in the plane, struggling to pick up their grandkid. And all of a sudden, they start barbell training 3 days a week, and we reverse the clock on them and we give them a portion of their life back. That's the most gratifying thing. And that's the most important reason why we do this, not just for the aesthetics, not just for the sports. Those things are all important, but this is not just something you do for 6 months and stop. This training we do, this is a lifelong habit. This is brushing your teeth. This is going to bed at a reasonable hour. This is just something that you do now, hopefully, is our goal for you. All right. And what it looks like, and as you age, it might adjust a little bit, but for the most part, resistance training should just be part of your life. It should be a regular part of your life.